It's Wes and Ace on the Briscoe and Big Ace Show.
All right, people. Freestyles of your boy Chip from a.k.a. Jungle Rock Jr. People, the future. Let's go, jump.
This ain't no laugh or no joking matter. Should we slaughter any boy, anywhere for after? Who always like chatter and run them out. If they run them out and out of town, they better leave before we burn them out. This ain't no laugh or no joking matter. Should we slaughter
Turn the lights
any
down,
boy,
my G.
anywhere for after? Who always like chatter and run them out. If they run them out and out of town,
Briscoe
they better
and
leave
Big
before we
Ace
burn them out.
Show. Wes, my brother.
What up, dude?
How's it going, man?
Oh, dude, man. Just been extremely busy. Just got back from Boston, Maryland, and one other place I haven't known there. I think Connecticut. Did a bunch of shows out there right after I left you and saw you. So I've just been slammed.
Yeah, you'd been nonstop for you these last couple weeks, and it doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon either.
No, it doesn't. Going to Canada to go see Devin and the Hannibal on Hannibal TV and all that good stuff on Friday. I'll be out in Canada, Quebec area for, I think, 3 days.
Nice. Nice. So Quebec, get ready because Wes is coming.
Yeah, I'm doing a wrestling show, and then I'm also doing a live comedy show.
Yeah, and you're going to have to get some video of that while you're hanging out at that comedy show because I'm very interested to see that go down.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty crazy.
I think it's going to be cool. Well, yeah, so we haven't been able to do anything since. I mean, we've since our Waterloo trip, of course, everybody has seen our amazing live podcast that, let's be honest, we didn't really know how that was going to work, how it was going to go down, who was going to be the guest, where it was happening. Everything was still kind of in the air, even, I'd say, a couple hours going into that show that day. But I think it worked.
Yeah, oh man, I can't believe how stressed out I was trying to make sure everything was right. We kept running back and forth to the hotel, getting the right cords. We couldn't get the camera hooked up. The Wi-Fi kept kicking us off. I mean, we literally had every problem you could throw at us. We didn't even know if the guests were going to show up or if anybody was going to come. And then it ended up turning out to be probably one of the greatest shows we've done. And then we literally had a packed house, standing room only.
We did. Yeah, it was cool, man. I mean, you're used to that kind of stuff. So for me, though, it was kind of a surreal moment to be like, look at these legends I'm sitting with. This is cool. I made it. Yay. You know, but no, it was cool. Everybody in the room was cool. Like the people listening, I can't thank everybody enough. I know you feel the same just because we had a really good turnout. Everybody was engaging. Everybody was laughing. I considering we kind of did it on the fly, that was a great thing we did on Saturday. And again, it's on YouTube. Check it out. Full video. Again, me and Wes sat down with James Jeffries from IPW, Thunderbolt Patterson, of course, your father, Jerry Briscoe, Sergeant Slaughter, and Beth Phoenix. So check it out.
Yeah, we want to give a big shout out to the Dan Gables Museum and IPW for letting all of us do what we do. And thank you for everyone that came out for the show and the Hall of Fame and for the banquet dinner and all that stuff. We really had a good time, and we want to thank you guys, the fans, for showing up.
Yeah, definitely. And again, big thanks to Troy at IPW and all their crew helping out. Dude, that dinner was amazing. I ate like 5 pieces of steak.
Oh, I was so full after that. I literally I went back for 2 rounds. I was so hungry. It was so good, though.
It was probably the best meal I've had at one of these Hall of Fames.
I know. It's because it's weird. You think that like normally wrestling banquets, you get good food, but normally the food's horrible. It's like chewing on a rubber like shoe. Like it's like the worst. But this time the food was really good.
Yeah, so yeah, that was good. We had a lot of good times too. We saw a bunch of people we know, a bunch of our Iowa friends, as well as you got to wrestle one of your buddies. Was with Mr. Brian Pillman Jr., which we'll get into in a little bit because he's on this episode. But you guys put on a great match. You got to meet some of the chairs in the audience pretty well that match. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, that one didn't show so good. I'm still recovering from that one. That was a big mistake on my part, taking out the whole front row.
But it looked cool. But it looked cool.
It might have looked cool, but it didn't feel cool.
Yeah, I bet. I was lucky enough to have for the main show since I had my all access pass. I was front row, obviously, so it worked out perfectly that when you were in the ring, that I was just there to film everything that was going to happen. I mean, I would have preferred to see you do something a little more, either like straight tag or like a one-on-one match instead of that 4-way tag match. But it was okay. It was all right. You guys look like
it is what it is.
Yeah, you guys were doing all right, and you had a lot of young guys in there with you, so it was cool for them to get that experience. And you were tagging with Nick Densmore or Eugene. Was he going with the Eugene gimmick that night?
And yeah, man, that was awesome. Tagging with Eugene was probably like a surreal moment because, you know, he's been around the business for a while, and I look up to him, and he's a really good dude. And it was just really cool to just be able to tag with him,
right?
Just to, you know, check that box off, you would say.
Yeah, it was cool to see you guys come out together and be in the ring. Yeah, it was another great year. My question is this, and if you go to this, and people who listen to us that know about this Hall of Fame weekend, is how in the hell has it been 5 years and they haven't remodeled the hotel? They haven't put AC in the bar yet. They haven't done anything.
Well, I think not having the AC in the bar is a good thing for me, because then that way I don't go to the bar. I'm just going straight to my room with the AC.
Right.
But you would think they would get their stuff together. And it's the same people running the hotel.
It is, yeah. Which big shout out to the staff at that hotel, though, because even though, you know, the hotel wasn't physically awesome, the staff was amazing.
The staff is always awesome there. I love the staff at the hotel. They always take care of you, always make sure that if you need anything, you know, they'll go out of their way to take care of you. But the owner, he needs to get his shit together.
Right. You know, and the other big bummer, too, is they had a pretty legit cool pool area in this hotel, and it's been closed for 2 years now.
Well, you know, because there's probably some nasty disease in there.
Oh, don't say that. That's where we did our first interview together.
That's part of the reason why they closed it down.
Oh, no. But it's a cool spot. Like, it's a big pool. It's got a cool spot for the hot tub, video games, ping pong pool table. Like, I wish that thing would be open again, because, hey, that would have probably made your back feel a little bit better throughout the weekend if you could have sat in that hot tub.
I don't know if I would sit in that hot tub after walking up and down the hallway last night of our hotel and then stumbling upon, I guess you would say, a swingers party. Yeah,
so let's run this down. This was probably the one craziest thing that happened while we were in Waterloo. So we're going.
Yeah, definitely, probably one of the craziest things.
So we're leaving your room. You were on the 8th floor of this hotel. There's like 10 and 11 floors. We're leaving your room to go down to the lobby. I don't remember what we were doing, if we were going to a bar or this, you know, food or whatever.
I think we just got done doing a podcast and we were going to go get some food.
Okay. So we were going. It was later in the evening. And as we're walking down the hallway, someone else was with us and you were talking to him. And I kind of just noticed, like, I walked by and you know how people leave the lock in, everybody, you know, they put the little boat lock so your door doesn't actually shut all the way. I noticed a door look like that, and I just noticed a quick look that, hey, that looked like a bunch of naked bodies in that room. I had to double take it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's a bunch of naked bodies. You guys were a little bit ahead of me, and I didn't want to say anything yet.
I thought you were in front of me, because you ended up seeing two people come out of the room.
No, because I stopped when I did the double take, so you two got a little ahead of me. But then I noticed
I was stopping. I was like, I don't know what's going on in there. I do not want to be involved in there.
Well, and then the next like 3 rooms after that all had their lock like that, so the doors were all open. And next thing you know, here comes this couple walking out. Dude has no shirt on, and I don't think any shoes on, which is already a little weird.
And a towel.
Girl has a dress on, but girl's looking rough, looking like she just was doing some stuff. And so they walk by us going to another room, and, you know, I walked by these people when they were all checking into their rooms, and like I was like, oh wow, these guys are gonna party tonight. Like, they're having a good time. Didn't realize what kind of party they were going to be having. So as we get to the last room,
I just remember that one person like not going past and knocking on the door, going, "Are you guys still swinging?" I was just like, "Oh my god!" And so then they just go into some random hotel room.
Right, and then when we get to the elevator, from the elevator, maybe 4 or 5 doors down, is when it's clear as day of what is happening, because this woman literally sounds like she was getting banged out in the hallway. I mean, it sounded like she was right next to us. That's how loud it was. And I mean, carrying on.
Yeah, they were definitely doing some birds and bees type stuff in there, but I don't know.
Like, this chick was going nuts. And the funniest thing for me, though, is it's Hall of Fame, it's Waterloo, it's a lot of wrestling fans. Wrestling fans can be a certain kind of breed at times. So some gentleman walks by us, go into his room, kind of a guy that you would be like, yeah, this would shock him if he saw this type of stuff in front of him. And he can hear it too when he walks off the elevator while we're standing there like, what's happening? My favorite thing, though, is when he walks down and gets to that room and just the stop and the look, and then the look back at us at the elevator.
We were leaving. Like some guys wanted to stay. I was like, dude, you guys are perverts and gross. This is nasty. I'm out of here. Like, I was already like trying to get in the elevator as fast as I could. I was like, get me out of here. Like, I don't want to deal with this.
Right. Well, this gentleman looked like he had, seen things he's never seen before when he looked in there.
It looked like he might have wanted to join it.
Yeah, most definitely. But that was pretty comical. And then, yeah, like you said, our third wheel that was with us was really enjoying the sitting there just listening to what happened while we were trying to leave. But it's one of those things. Something crazy always happens when we are in Waterloo, Iowa. Something just off the wall, an unbelievable story usually comes from every weekend. And this was it. Wes room was next to a swinger party.
Whoa, wasn't necessarily. It was like,
you were a couple.
We would like to say 10 doors down. I was at least 10 doors down, so I was good.
I don't know. I mean, what were you doing when I wasn't there, Wes? What were you doing when I wasn't there?
Sleeping, I'll tell you that right now.
Ducking in.
We all know what those girls look like.
No,
thank you.
The funniest part for me is earlier in the day, I was having a smoke downstairs and I'd seen some of them checking in, and I'm like, really? It's Saturday. Like, why are they just like, I don't know, something felt weird about how these people were all just checking in. I was like, this seems odd. But yeah, who would have thought that while we're celebrating this wonderful Hall of Fame weekend, we would also be subject to a swingers party?
I know, that was probably the craziest thing ever. Like, but
hey,
like you said, what happens in Waterloo, I guess, kind of stays on Waterloo. But we just told everybody on Briscoe Big Issue, so
it's too good not to tell.
Yeah, exactly.
Really
and then we told the hotel staff, and then the hotel staff went up there, and they went up there and started laughing because they were like, really can't say anything. They like because the reason we told the staff is because they were being obnoxiously too loud. Like, if there was kids, like anybody in the whole floor could have heard them. So we just were like, hey, might want to just tell them, like, keep it down a little bit. And they went up there and they just came back with the biggest smile on their face. Like, they're like, yeah, they were definitely having a swingers party.
Yeah, it was crazy. I don't know. I don't get how those people don't think like, hey, everybody can hear it. I mean, they probably just get off on that. But yeah, it was an interesting.
They do.
You know what I mean? It was interesting though, but yeah. So Waterloo overall though, it was a great time. The Hall of Fame was wonderful. It was great to see Sergeant Slaughter up there, and Brian Shields and the posthumous. I think I said that right. For Bruno and everybody. Beth gave a great speech. Overall, again, a great weekend. Hopefully,
Natty.
Yeah, Sheamus and Natty was there. Yep. We got a highlight video coming out here in the next week, and it's gonna have a little bit of Wes and Sheamus interacting together, so that'll be fun.
Oh.
Yeah. So and then Natalia was there. She seemed really cool. Didn't really talk much, but we rode the elevator with her a few times in her PJs for some reason. Like 4 different times we were in the elevator with her in her PJs. But whatever. She was relaxing. It was a good weekend. A little crazier than usual. Maybe a little not as organized as this weekend usually would have been. Of course, changing hands and stuff like that has happened. So hopefully come next year, all these little kinks that happened this last year will be worked out. And also, hopefully next year, we'll be doing a big show because we obviously did a really good job. It went over really well. So, I don't see why we can't make that a bigger production next year in Waterloo.
I think it's going to be bigger, better, bigger guests. We'll do something special. I don't know. We haven't come up with it, but we'll do something very, very special.
For sure. So one other great thing that we got to do, other than that show, is because we did 2 podcasts while we were there. We got to our next one, and again, we already mentioned Brian Pillman Jr., who you did that Classic 8 tournament with a few months ago, where it was all second, third generation people. So, and now you had known him before that, or you guys worked?
I met him in North Carolina either North Carolina or Indiana, and we just became friends, and ever since then we just became boys.
Perfect. So again, you had your first qualifying match for the Hall of Fame tournament with him, and then you had that tag match later in the night. But after that show, we had we all met up in my room and we did a little powwow podcast, and we had Brian Pillman Jr. join us. Yeah. We had Curt Stallion, which you might have just seen him on the Evolve stuff. Just had a match with Matt Riddle. And then we also had their friend Darby, and I cannot remember his other last name, but I'm sorry. Shouts out to you, Darby. I know I got you on like social media and stuff. And then of course, Mr. Smohawk Dustin Smothers from IPW joined us as well. And it was interesting because we try to strive on not do just straight wrestling talk when we have wrestling guests on. And this one kind of got interesting. This got a little.
Yeah, we got no wrestling talk at all. No. I mean, I think we got like a little bit, but overall, I think it's scary. I mean, I think the people are going to either hate it or like it. So
I'll tell you what, it was later at night. It was after a long day of wrestling for all 3 of these men. Long day. I mean, 3 shows in that one day.
And some beers. So it was, everybody was ready to just relax and cut loose a little bit. And again, we got on some interesting stuff. We didn't even really talk wrestling. We were talking like conspiracy theories and stuff like that. And it was an interesting, a fun conversation that we had. So that's what we're going to lead into right here. We're going to play that episode for you, or the rest of that for you. And again, nice little special Waterloo Hall of Fame weekend special edition drop this week with Brian Pillman Jr., Curt Stallion, and others with Wes and I in the Ramada Inn in Waterloo, Iowa for the George Tragos Thesz Hall of Fame weekend. Wes, you got anything before we cut to this show? No, just want to say thanks for everybody for staying tuned. Keep watching. We got a bunch of big stuff coming, and stay tuned.
Perfect. All right, well, let's get into this. Again, Brian Pillman Jr., Curt Stallion, me, Wes, and a bunch of other great guests hanging out in a hotel room. Here we go.
Unique New York. Unique New York. Ow, now.
The arsonist had weird-shaped feet.
Well, shit.
All right,
guys.
Well, that's a good way to start right there, I think. Let's get in it.
All right, Big Ace. Well, why don't you do the intro for this one right now?
This is a special episode. I don't even know if we're going to put a number on it. It's a Hall of Fame weekend. Yeah, there it is. 69.
419, whatever you want to call it.
Right. Hall of Fame weekend, Waterloo, Iowa. Of course, a very, very special weekend for Wes and I. Been coming for years. And, of course, this is where the Briscoe and Big Ace show got its birth last year. So.
Yeah, this was our first time that we came together and decided that we're going to do this podcast and do something different for our fans and not just do the normal, just boring podcast and ask the same old questions that everyone asks. And, we're blessed today to have some beautiful, beautiful guests, some superstars up in this bad boy. Look at these locks. Look at these locks up in there.
No, it's a hair guy.
Let him out. Hurry up.
It's Wrestling Podcast.
I'm so jealous that I have short hair.
And I just cut all my hair.
I wish I could grow hair like that.
It looked good when it was long, brother.
Yeah, it did. So, Big Ace, do you want to introduce everybody and just give a little, say what's up?
Yeah, I mean, come with a Hall of Fame weekend, come awesome guest. That's why we're doing this. So we've got Mr. Brian Pillman Jr. in the house and Curt Stallion in the house. both you guys coming off a great night of show. And I'm sorry, but you're going to have to introduce my man over here.
Diamond Tiger Kobe Durst.
He's the man. He's Canadian.
Canadian.
I made him stand up for the national anthem and put his heart
But he's not here right now.
I'll be in
We are in
Canada in 2
Canada
weeks.
filming this.
Yeah.
We're not in the States.
Cannibal,
He's not
Montreal.
here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And,
He
of
isn't
course,
here.
real quick shout-out to our boy Dustin Smothers in the house hanging out
We
with us.
got
Hey, how are
Dustin.
you?
Yeah.
Hi to
He's
Dustin.
here. We're here.
Hey, Dustin.
I'm just really happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
I'm happy to have all of you guys here. This is a great time. And again, an awesome weekend. But so real quick, before we just get crazy with it, let's just real quick touch up. So like Curtis, what do you have going on right now? Where can people find you? You know, shows, anything like that?
Well, I've contracted superstar Curt Stallion. You can find me all over the world, baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No, tell everyone your Instagram.
Yeah, I know, I'm
you
just
know.
shooting the mess. Shooting the breeze, as old Mr. Austin would say. Well, at Curt Stallion on Twitter with a C, Curt_Stallion on Instagram, and I'm not giving you my Snapchat unless you're a beautiful lady.
Yeah,
As
you
it
pay
should
that,
be.
and you pay that, that Snapchat fee.
Premium girl.
Yeah, that premium's what it's all about.
At Kobe Durst.
Boom.
Right, and then we got.
I'm not even giving mine out yet. I'm gonna wait and see.
You're gonna wait.
See how it goes.
See, okay,
I don't know
now,
about this crowd.
guys, we
I
got
don't know
some
about these
drama.
fans. I'm gonna make them watch the show. So you guys blew your load too soon. I'm saving my load.
I got a
So.
lot left, man.
They're like,
I'll go 2, 3
What's
more
his
times.
Instagram? What's his Twitter? I guess I gotta watch the whole video. Yes, you do. Tune in.
Yeah, that's good.
So, Brian, I mean, how long have we been boys? Like, I think we first met. Where was the first show? Was it that? The show was what?
It was in Indiana, right? Yeah.
Indiana
yeah.
or Ohio or
No,
something.
no, it was
sketchy. Like,
no. I
place.
want to say it was in like near South Bend, Indiana.
I
wasn't it?
think so. Yeah.
But that's where the Notre Dame, Fighting Irish are. That's so it was near. It was near a relatively modern place, but it was kind of in the middle. I don't know. It was in Indiana. Indiana. It's just corn and Indiana.
I mean, we love everyone out in Indiana. Big shout out to Indiana, but it's all
Indiana, great indies and stuff out there and fun, and you just get a lot of bookings in the Midwest.
I just think Park and Rec. Every
But
time I hear Indiana, I just think Parks and Rec.
It was funny, man. It's like soon as we've really never before then ever met, and it was kind of cool. Like we kind of just looked at each other, and it was just like we kind of hit it off right away. It wasn't some awkward hey, shake your hand, walk away. It was more like, hey, dude, what's up? Finally, we actually got to meet. And then once we met, man, we've been boys ever since. And, I was actually blessed tonight to actually get to wrestle him. And, man, we put on one hell of a show. And, man, this guy is going to be the next big thing, man. I'm telling you right now, man. It was just absolute honor, just to get in the ring with you. Because I've been watching your stuff in MLW. Of course, I always follow you because you're my boy and stuff and always check up on you, making sure you're doing the right things and stuff. But, man, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, the way you involved, the things you have done, and the style that you have created has been one thing that has just been awesome because it sets yourself away from everybody else.
Thank you, brother. And like I said, I've ever since I met you, we bonded right away, and it was at a time in my career where I was definitely looking up for mentors. I was looking up for people to help me, and our story is obviously very similar and in a different dynamic in the present day. Was a different dynamic when you were breaking in the pathway that you took in wrestling. So it's kind of cool to look back on how wrestling's changed and how we go through different journeys and stuff, but we all come together. And then you told me, you were like, yeah, I was a wakeboarder, I was a pro surfer before this, fuck wrestling. And I was like, damn, you're straight up. No, but then he was like, but I was just, I was good enough to do both, but you really loved wakeboarding, and I thought that was cool. You always got your Florida tan going, so.
Oh boy, I'm always
you're always
tan,
burned up,
tone, and totally in control,
Yeah, it's just,
baby. That's the 3 T's up in this bad boy.
I got tan envy.
So, man, tell me some things, man. What have you been up to, man? When Brian's home and he's just kicking it and all beat up, and when you just sit on the couch, what do you be watching, man? What do you be listening to? What do you be jamming to? What are the things that you kind of into right now? Other than, of course, we all know you watch wrestling and that stuff, but we ain't really trying to talk about that. I'm trying to think about,
I'm kind of a gamer. I come home and I like to relax and stuff, but I go to the gym every day. You got to get to the gym, you got to get your pump on. But at the same time, I'll take my supplements and my protein, and I'll go and I'll play some games on the computer. I actually bought a new PC just so I can
You
make
went
it.
to PC?
No, I bought a new PC.
I went to Apple.
Oh, well, PCs are way better.
I don't know, man. My new Apple Air is pretty dope, dude. I'm loving it right now.
But you're not a nerd, though. I'm a nerd, so I know more.
No, bro, I got. Hey, look at these socks right now.
Yeah.
I got Scrooge McDuck socks on.
You don't know about building that custom computer, though.
No, I can't do none of that, bro.
But I figured, as a wrestler, we're always making business decisions as an entrepreneur. You need to have an office. You need to have because I kept finding myself going to my friend's mom's office to print stuff off, to do different business things, sign a contract, scan it in, mail it back. So it's very good investment. You can write off on your taxes if as a wrestler you have a little room in your house where you have an office,
Wow. I mean, guys, did you just hear this?
But I really just play video games on it all day.
Well, this is totally
I'm kidding. I just play video games literally 8 hours a day. Fuck yeah.
Okay, so then what's your game then?
I've been messing around. I was always big on Apex. I was never a Fortnite guy. I didn't like Fortnite. I played Apex Legends a bit, and then this another new free game came out called Dauntless, which is really cool. You slay a bunch of monsters and stuff. I've been really big on Mortal Kombat 11. Pretty skilled with it at this point. I think I can hold my own online. So that's always.
Dude, Mortal Kombat was absolutely my favorite game back in the day. The Scorpion. Mm-hmm. Get over here.
And now they got this new game called Teamfight Tactics on the computer, so I've been playing that.
But see, here's the thing: is these kids just whoop my ass so bad, and it's and they're talking shit to me, and I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? This little kid is just reaming me and just smoking me and doing it on purpose and making me feel so then I just have to unplug the thing.
Yeah, that's Curt. He's online. He's the one ribbing you.
Yeah. So Curt, tell me about you, man. So. When you're home and chilling, we just kind of really met and kind of bonded and just hit one-on-one just because we kind of had the same groove, the same style.
Pit bulls, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Tell me a little about yourself. When you're home and just chilling and just kind of zoning out away from the wrestling business and just what do you like to do? What are your things, man?
Bro, honestly, my whole shtick is when I'm not wrestling, I'm with my friends, my friends that I grew up with from the time I was 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
I've never the old no new friends thing. That was my mentality for so long until I found out that the brotherhood of professional wrestling is real. You know what I mean?
So it's truly real when you find the real brothers.
Bro, absolutely. Because there's some fake sons of bitches out there.
Oh,
you
bro.
know what I'm talking about, all you.
And you know what? He's right to talk about you guys. And the guys that complain about getting punched in the face and you really don't get hit and don't even have a black eye. Some guys, you guys got to man up. We're real man up in here. And you know what? We're tired of seeing this bullshit indie wrestling where you just slapping past guys.
Yeah.
We want to actually see.
Be honest. Bring that honesty to the ring, boy. Seriously, that's what I live for. And like I was saying, when I'm at home, dude, I'm with my friends. At night, I'm out all night with my friends. That is my chill time. My chill time ain't sleeping and fucking if I'm by myself in my house, fuck yeah, I'm playing video games, just chilling fucking, brain dead. But it's all in the best fucking interest. Watch your mouth, bleep that. Anyhow.
It's all right.
Bleep, bleep.
You remember the beginning?
Bleep, bleep.
Yeah,
We tried YouTube, please.
That's the sound of
YouTube,
the
I'm
police.
begging you, don't kick us out.
That's
can
the
ban
sound of
me.
the police.
Just send us the warning, and we'll be happy with
that's
the
on
warning.
me, YouTube. Cameron Rogers.
I was
Crane,
born to be a
Texas, send me
ball
the
player,
bill.
born to be a football player.
But yeah, dude, I play old games like Devil
I'm
May
50
Cry,
Tyson.
the old PlayStation games
Dude,
and shit.
those are
dude,
what. So I have a pirated
Bro.
Xbox. So I have Excite Bike, Mike
Yeah,
Tyson
dude.
Punch
I almost
Out,
dropped another F-bomb, dude. Yeah, bro.
Dude, those
that's
are
tight. Absolutely,
legit
dude.
games.
I play the old NES games too, the old Ninja Turtles. The
first Ninja
bro,
Turtle.
the hardest game I've
Oh
ever
my
played in my life.
god,
Dude,
that
game's tight.
was a good one.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, I love Double Dragon back in the day.
Bro.
That
I had a mean GameCube run. I had a great run
Nice.
with the GameCube. Yeah,
Hell yeah, dude. Smash
a lot
Bros.
of GameCube games I had.
Pikmin.
Yeah,
Dude, Mario.
that was my shiznit.
Mario Party was the GameCube
Mario Party
game, man.
breaks friendships.
We
up.
love that game.
So I'm actually pretty solid at Super Smash Brothers,
Me
Melee,
too. I should
and
have brought my Switch. We could have
Switch.
got mad at each other.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're
I
about
would've
to
partied on
see a battle
I would
going
have
on
slapped
over here.
you up. I would have fucked you up. Curt doesn't get it.
So what do you guys, man? Did you guys enjoy the weekend? Did you guys have fun? Like, I know this is like a different Hall of Fame and a different like convention than most conventions. And did you guys enjoy the whole Waterloo Hall of Fame and the Dan Gable's Museum and Impact
absolutely.
Wrestling?
This is my third year in a row being in this tournament. Like, I've met you a couple other times, but it was always in passing, and this is the first time we actually got to connect and chill.
I'm so stoked too, dude.
I
It's
love
like,
you. You're awesome.
hell yeah,
like,
man.
I feel it. Like,
Yeah.
you're just a good dude, and I
Well, it's
appreciate
good vibes, man. That's what life's all about, man.
We call that dragon energy. That's what we call it.
Dragon energy. We got that dragon energy, boy.
Not everybody's got it. You know, you either got it or you don't. You know, you either got that. You know.
But yeah, dude, I really enjoy coming to this weekend, like getting to hang out with all the dudes and just like kick back after a long days of hard work. You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
it's good being here, man.
Exactly. So, Ace, you got anything else you want to
Yeah,
throw
because
in
before
there?
we went live with this, we were talking, and Brian, I'm interested to hear the theories you want to run by us.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
No,
that's
because
deep. That's deep. We don't
because
even,
listen,
set
Brian,
the stage.
Listen, Brian, like I'm a surfer, so I study the stars too for navigation because
That's how that works.
I'm an ocean man.
Well, why don't you start us off and then I'll kind of find a point to segue in. Just get me going a little bit
Okay,
here.
so when I started first studying the stars is when I started sailing and surfing a lot because the stars will lead to different tides. The North Star will always lead you in the right direction. The Little Dipper. You know, I'm pretty big in the constellations and learning that the constellations can lead you to different maps and different locations around the world.
So yeah, so they're absolute, right? They're there and they're not moving, but they're moving because everything moves at the same rate as everything else, right? So all the rules are the same. It's called the rule of the cosmos. So when I learned that in astronomy, that's what triggered my holy shit moment, that the rule of the cosmos is so real that it essentially states, well, you know, we'll
Pass
party
it
up
over.
this
Well, we gotta, you know, for properly talk about this, you gotta drink the nicest whiskey possible, and that's the Black Velvet. One of our sponsors.
This is not an ad. We're not being paid. Shameless.
But if you would like to
Shameless plug.
sponsor,
Make Kobe take one too.
But if you don't mind, if you want me to take it from here, I can. I can go. I just needed a
yes.
little starter.
Yes, I just want to know that show people that I'm also like I love the stars too and the constellations because in my heritage as being a Native American, the constellations actually really meant a lot to us because that could tell us a lot what's going on with the world.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? I think Dustin wins the last one.
he took the last of it.
Last of Us.
See, Black Velvet, I told you. Yeah, thank you for the little baby bottle, but we need more for the next show. He shoots, he scores!
Hey.
All right, guys. Okay, back
I
to the
didn't go in.
constellation.
You're on the constellation. So you're talking about constellations. Mm-hmm. The meaning of the constellation. So, I guess what I was saying was that like all the stars are, you know, obviously they're all different sizes, different things, gravity, this, that, and the other. But all the quote unquote laws of gravity and inertia and all that thing apply the same everywhere in the universe, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So everything happens and it just continuously happens, right? And there's
Yes,
a time.
I
So
agree.
time just keeps going for everybody. You can't stop it, right?
Mhm.
So there's rules, right? And if everything follows those same rules, then that means nature is acting autonomously and it is going through cycles, and that means that a place like here, like Earth, is guaranteed. It's bound to happen somewhere else in the universe. It's impossible.
Oh,
for it
I
not
agree
to,
with you
know what I
100%.
mean?
They've already found it. It's just too far away.
And yeah.
That one plane that
Obviously.
they just found is like just like Earth, but it would take, I forgot how many different light
Well, by the
years.
time we got there, there'd be people on it. You know.
Yeah, they're all been selling us stuff. It's like real estate. Hey, the real estate will be so high you can't even buy. You gotta rent the whole time.
Hey, we just invented marshmallows. Come on
Yeah.
over. You know.
Do you guys know who Bob Lazar is?
Yeah.
Dude, okay. Thank you, Kobe. I appreciate it.
Kobe, yeah.
So Bob Lazar is the dude that worked at Area 51 that came out and exposed everything that.
How
goes on,
crazy was that when he described that spaceship?
bro?
No
he-
corners, no edges, no nothing.
He was saying how the material, they tracked where the material came from, and it is from some star. I almost used the F word again because I'm so stoked talking about this. Some star
Yeah.
ridiculously far away, and it is the third planet, which is a twin planet from this star, and by twin planet, it's another planet that's almost like its moon. They're so close together, but they've got opposite orbits, and one day they're gonna end up just smashing into each other. Stop myself.
That's gonna be crazy,
bro. But yeah, that's where the material for that spaceship came from. Was from that planet of that star, and how they track that, I have no idea.
Dude, that's some secret. Like, how do? And like, I feel like the government has all these crazy. Like, there's no way that they have the information to track where it came from. Like, they've been chilling with aliens a long time. Some
fiber
aliens
optics is alien technology. That's true.
I believe it.
100%, dude.
Are y'all gonna go try to make the run on Area 51?
The Naruto run?
To be honest with you, I don't run from nobody.
I'm running to the aliens. Goddamn it.
So that's true. I'll walk my lippy ass over there, but I ain't running nowhere. I'll tell you that right now.
But I guess what I was saying, to expand on that theory a little bit, was like, because everything's happening naturally, because nature is just this ongoing thing that has to occur and it has to evolve.
But okay, with that, like, I hate to come in, nature has definitely been changing, because as a surfer, I follow all the hurricanes, the past that the weather has been changing, and the past that the weather and the different crazy heat waves and cold spells and stuff that's been happening, it's only setting up to something like we're gonna have in the next year or two some massive hurricanes.
Well, what I'm saying is that's just happening because it has to, right?
Yeah, with the alignment of the stars,
take us out.
Gravity,
50% of it's gone.
It's nature. Yeah.
Yes,
All
exactly.
I'm saying is that's inevitably happening. Everything happens inevitably, right? Because of the forces of the world, right? Nature evolves, socio-economic nature evolves, and it's because of this that the fucking stardust created a planet. The planet then created, in order to have oxygen, you had to have plants. So plants came first. So if you look at plants and animals, you got plants and you got animals. Why do we?
Oh, I thought water came first, and then water dried, and then from that came the plants. And
the plants didn't create the water. Well, the water, you gotta have the water, right? But all this comes from stardust. It's when a star explodes, shit spreads around. Whatever fits together makes a planet, right? And but the plants came before the animals, and we always say plants and animals, right? We always separate the two. Why do we do that? Because they're such different levels of existence.
Though. They still have feelings. Trees do have feelings. Like people that say that trees don't have feelings.
We're getting there. That's the final conclusion, right? So we have plants, we have animals, right? So plants, this is crazy. This is going to warp your mind a little bit. Plants created oxygen so that we could breathe, and then that mammals and things could exist, right? Plants did. Am I there?
Yes.
All right. But what did animals do? Animals created a third level of existence, which I believe in, is technology, right? So you've got your phones, you got your laptops, you got your cars, you got your trains. What do they all have in common with you, a human person? We fucking give them energy, and they spit out energy, and they have a limited lifespan, and they have brains in them. And think about this. A car has a more superior existence to you in some way. It's way faster than you. You could never run faster than a car. You can never run 90 miles an hour. So put it this way: the same way you eat Burger King and Coca-Cola.
I don't eat Burger King or Coca-Cola.
Is the same way you put gasoline in your car. Baby. It moves, it burns it shits out the smoke. It's transfers of energy. Humans are just vessels of energy, the same way plants were. Now, humans will become primitive, robots will take over the world. The end.
I got
Doomsday.
I want to. I need to hear your. I want to hear your.
Or the new
theory on this.
It's a complete separate theory on everything, but it involves everything. I think humans are wrong about numbers.
Okay.
About the math code.
You have my interest.
Okay, check it out. There's a decimal, and then a 0, whenever it stops one.
You're right, they are.
When the front door does it stop, first off?
Yeah.
So when does that round up into 1?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, like seriously though, it blows my mind thinking about it whenever I give it a serious thought. I'm just like, we are wrong about numbers somehow, some way. I don't know shit about shit, but I know we're wrong about numbers. We got 4 second-generation superstars in here, and what I mean by that is 2 of them are wrestlers and 2 of them are pieces of shit. I speak for my phone.
My dad is Randy the Ram.
Oh, yeah, true. Ram Jam in the match earlier. Yeah, we're wrong about numbers, and I think that time is a man-made construct, I don't think animals experience time the same way we do because we think about it and they don't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's deep. Whoa.
That's
that.
crazy.
That is some deep thing
That
right
changed
there.
my life.
No, seriously.
about this shit every day,
seriously.
dude.
That's real. You don't think any animals like.
I will say
it's about this time right now.
I will say time does exist in the breadth of how the universe has to have time, because I think, obviously the fake time we invented, like 60 minutes, all that's not real.
Yeah.
But the essence of time,
Absolutely.
what it does
100%.
to the world,
But what we got is fucking stupid and wrong because we're idiots. But we'll figure it out. We'll be dead.
Yeah.
But they're gonna be like, well, 1, 2, and 3 ain't shit anymore. Now it's and we're gonna be like, well, all right. Sorry. That's 1
all
for him
good.
and 3 for me. So
So much extra work on Ace.
That's all right. That's all right.
That's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the
Kobe,
police.
what do you like doing when you're at your house?
In Canada.
Kobe.
Yeah.
Canada's a legal country.
Kobe, baby.
Yeah, I heard
Oh
that.
yeah, I guess I can.
Are you guys freedom over there?
Yeah, man, it's awesome.
you free?
We just legalized the weed, so
Freedom.
that's the definition of freedom.
Wait, let me blow your mind. Or are you now a slave to it?
Those are expensive, man. Turn into an episode of the Xbox.
No, people who say you can't get addicted to weed are definitely wrong. Like you can,
Yes,
like it's more of a
yes.
mental addiction
Oh, yeah.
than a physical.
No, it's
Yeah.
yeah. But he's not addicted.
But
I mean, off the top, what do you guys think as far as how they're saying that psychedelics will now serve as an actual medicine?
Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah, what do you...
it's all about who you know.
Like, see, okay, now I'm going to say something. Like, my brother struggles, and he has a rare disease. It's called cluster headaches. And it's really bad, and I kind of didn't believe him at first, which, it's kind of weird because I'm his brother, and I was like, man, I don't believe you, because he's in the corner crying and like just in this worst pain and has every light turned down and just in the worst pain in my life. Yeah, he would throw up multiple times and for no and I'm like, what's causing these these headaches? And I didn't believe him. So then he started microdosing shrooms. Just small amount, not enough to make you trip, but it clicked all of his cluster headaches. He does not have cluster headaches anymore. And that really saved him because he would be at work or let's say he would be in college and this would happen and he would start throwing up and have to go in a dark room and it would last for hours. And I feel like people shouldn't, if there's a natural way to help that, I'm totally cool with that. I totally agree with that because I totally see it change. And my brother does not drink alcohol or anything like that. I mean, he does enjoy the typical smoke every once in a while, but he's a straight edge. He has an architecture degree. He speaks 4 different languages. He's a very, very smart young man, and I look up to him as my little brother. And it sucks that certain medicines can't be provided to the people that actually need it. And that's the thing that as a country and everybody needs to realize that the natural things that can heal people should be able to be offered to the people, and especially because I'm Native American and I believe in my tribe, and we always believe in that stuff.
The pharmaceutical companies are absolutely causing us to not be able to take care of ourselves in this country.
Yeah. Get that on the mic.
The pharmaceutical companies are making it absolutely difficult to feel good in this country.
I'm surprised you remembered it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Burt Bacharach.
All right. Well, we're kind of getting to the end, so we'll kind of switch to a different subject. Ace, what you want to talk about real quick for the last little ending of this little shindig?
What I want to, I was really into the theory stuff, to be honest. That was blowing my mind, actually.
What are you telling me? You're a conspiracy theorist?
No. I just
telling me you're a
listening
weirdo?
to this stuff. But I agree with you. I think the end of the days are going to be because robots.
Yes.
AI.
Yeah,
It'll be a long, slow death, but we'll be replaced like plants were replaced
I don't
by
do
humans.
any facial recognition stuff.
Yeah.
The
Earth was covered in plants before we came
on my
here. What we
phone,
did,
I
we
take
killed them
off
all
the-
and used them.
Right.
For shit.
Same, bro.
Yeah, and
Robots are just going to be like, all right, well, we need to kill all these humans and use them for shit.
You
Right.
see they're doing the brain
Or
interface
harvest
stuff
them, yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Like,
Ultron was right.
oh my god, they connect over 1,000 little micro wires to different little.
You know what's weird is like our consciousness will just end up being digital and we won't think anything of it, and all of a sudden we're owned by a computer at that point.
Or we're
then become robots.
we're just characters in the game that people are playing.
Essentially, that's what. It,
So,
it could
so
be
I guess here's where the final part of my theory comes in. So, see, I've been spacing this out, right?
You're
So we
very good at. Like,
What are you at on Twitter?
It's like a match. It's like a match.
Yeah.
You know?
So we talked about the rule of the cosmos. Everything's the same. But I also studied computer science and information systems in college. So if everything's written the same, and it's weird to say written, right?
Right.
If all these rules exist, if gravity works the same here as it does on the moon, according to mass, all these rules work. So who wrote the code? Who designed this? This is in every word a video game, because there are rules, there are values. X equals this. When you put together a computer, these are things that affect.
Tackle, drop
Yeah.
down, leapfrog, get it again.
The numbers are wrong.
The numbers are wrong. We live in a computer. It's the end of the world. Goodbye. Buy my shirts. ProWrestlingTees.com.
Ooh.
Brian Pillman Jr. And then you can follow me at Twitter as Flying Brian Jr. and on Instagram at Flying Brian 41.
Luscious locks.
This has been a well-placed ad.
Yes,
And,
the payoff.
I'm going to hand it over to our sponsors. Thanks for Black Velvet,
Yeah, Black Velvet. Thank you.
the brass ass. You know,
Dude, in that strip club down the street
that's
later.
what I said. The brass ass. No, I just made that up.
No, there's
Risque.
like 5 or 6 strip clubs down the street. Honestly,
Really? Yeah.
Iowa. Yeah.
Let's just stroll on down. You know.
You haven't lived till you've seen Wes's dad in the strip club just getting a jerry can.
Well, this podcast is getting way out of hand.
Jerry Briscoe.
All right, guys.
We're not
Hey,
editing this out.
Hey,
This better
listen.
make it to the final cut. Jerry
I want to
Briscoe.
say thank you guys for having us on our show, and like thank you for being here, and like we're gonna end it on this crazy good note, and we want you guys to have you back again, and thank you again for being on the show, and we love all y'all. Peace, love, prosperity.
Your necklaces are really cool.
Hey, we're gonna go have some fun. We're gonna go see some
Talk about who
ladies.
you know.
Look at his chains. Look at his
Talk about who you know.
chains, girls.
Bling, 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 bling all day.
Day was in white robes.